We dismiss history at our peril.
Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.
And we're back with Liberty Nation's executive editor, Lisa K. Donner. Earlier in the show, we were talking about the youth demographic and how that's shifting away from the Joe Biden Democrats, more towards the independents, and also, to some degree, towards Donald Trump's Republican parties. Now, to continue this, Lisa, I think one of the most interesting perspectives here, something that you covered in an article on libertynation.com recently, was that you talked about how youth voters, young voters, vote for their own self-interest. Now, why wouldn't they? I mean, it's almost so apparent that people would be voting for their self-interest, but we don't look at it like that. And certainly the regular Fourth Estate, they're not looking at that. They're saying, oh, it's all about a cause. It's about Palestine and Israel. It's about LGBT rights. It's about this, that, the other. And they don't think, no, it's about self-interest. It's about what's best for you, for your wallet, for your future prospects. Why do we have this disconnect when it comes to specifically young voters?
I don't know. I think we discount them. You know, a lot of research was done, and they found that this year, 53% of young people are most concerned about, well, let's guess, would it be, their college payments?
My guess would be just the overall state of the economy and how the job market they're going into is not setting them up for a successful future.
It's inflation.
Inflation. Yeah.
James Carville said that,
the economy's stupid.
The economy's stupid. I mean, I hate to say it, but it is. It's the economy. So the next thing on the list was at 28%, which is jobs that pay a living wage. And, so that's, again, it's the economy. They want homes. They want to be able to have kids. They want to be able to afford their private school if they want to, and they don't see right now, they don't see Joe Biden as a ticket to that.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Back in 2017, 2018, it was almost as though it was a buyer's market for jobs and for good paying jobs. You could go out in the morning. It was like the stories that my older family members used to tell me, where you could walk off a job one day and walk into another job that was just as good the next day, if not better, because people could pick and choose where they wanted to go for labor, to essentially sell their labor. But these, as you point out, under the Joe Biden economy, that's really not the case. Now, you could, of course, go to California to chase riches, as people have done since gold rush days, and then, of course, moved on to chase stardom out in California. And you could get a job for $20 an hour at a fast food establishment, which, of course, will probably shut down in the next couple of months because they can't afford to pay the state-mandated $20 an hour to everybody.
Well, that's what's happening. I mean, yeah. the 10,000 jobs have been lost in California. A whole bunch of chains are closing down. Individual, from Burger King to McDonald's to Subway, they're closing down restaurants. Well, $20 an hour is a lot to pay for a minimum wage.
It is. It's I think an important point that people miss is the point of a minimum wage job is not that you raise a family and buy a house on a minimum wage job. It's to give you skills, to give you experience of working in an environment with other people. And then once you've mastered those skills, you're supposed to be moving on an upward trajectory. A minimum wage job, it's like the old advert, a dog is for life, not just for Christmas. A minimum wage job is for getting started in your work career. It's not...
part-time, you're going to college. I mean, I waited tables when I paid for my own college. And so I waited tables and I got my tips and I put it towards, my education.
I sold junk from a bag door to door. And that's that's a job that I think few people could manage nowadays. So let's talk about the young voters, young people, and why there's this sense of almost disenfranchisement with what's happening in America today. Because it seems that everybody is promised the American dream, which, and I talked about this in another segment with Joe Schaefer, Liberty Nation's political columnist, but it's very malleable in terms of what it is for each person. Is it a house? Is it a family? Is it a family with 2 cars? Is it a white picket fence? That kind of thing. It seems, I think, out of reach to many young Americans.
Well, it is becoming out of reach. I mean, when bacon costs $12 a pound, just simple things and Happy Meals and McDonald's meals cost 12.
There is no happier meal than a pound of bacon, Lisa.
Yeah,
Let's get one thing straight here.
that's very tough.
That is the meal of the century. I defy anybody who tells me
You got
differently.
to come over and I'll make my famous BLT for you, Mark.
All right. Just
But
hold the L and the T and hold the bread while you're at it. I'll
the
take the
truth is
bacon.
everybody wants the American dream. That's why millions of people are crossing the southern border, the northern border, any way they can find to get in here. They want the American dream. And I think that goes in spades for our young people. And
Well,
they feel passing them by. And not only that, but we're spending all their money too.
that is that's right. 34 trillion. That is a debt that is not going to be paid. I see no way that can ever be paid. But let's talk about those millions of people that are crossing the borders. Now, young people, by and large, as a demographic, are more in favor of wider borders. Let's not say open borders, because very few people, I think, very few serious people, and that includes young people, are in favor of open borders per se, but
Mhm.
wider border entry. That's actually a barricade towards the American dream, isn't it? Andrew Moran, Liberty Nation's economics editor, wrote recently that there are 6 million homes needed today to fulfill demand for the people that are already here. Now, if you're getting, even under Joe Biden's new border policies that apparently have collapsed already at time of recording, that's 1.8 million people per year extra. Nobody's building 1.8 million extra homes per year, and that's not including the young people coming into their majority and going off and wanting homes for themselves who are citizens of the United States. So there's all these homes needed, but with massive amounts of people flooding across the border, they have to live somewhere.
Look,
So
look, young people want homes and apartments and cars, just like middle-aged people and older people. Xing them out of the American dream. Look, how much has the interest rates gone up since Biden's been president?
yeah, so currently the interest rate is 5.25 to 5.5, which is 4 points up from 2019.
Yeah, and that makes a
Uh,
big difference. I mean, that's money right out of your pocket that you're paying. You want that nicer house, you want that little bit nicer, bigger, roomy place for the extra kid, and you can't afford it. And I think the kids are starting to resent it, and that's another reason they're going to the ballot box.
yeah, it's not just for getting a house, is it? You want a car on finance, there's your 5% or more. If you want a house, there's your 5-7% mortgage rate. You want to use a credit card to buy groceries, there's your interest
Exactly.
rate. It's
Exactly.
the gift that keeps on taking. It's the Grinch that stole Christmas, that stole the American dream. Lisa K. Donner, I really appreciate you being here. Thanks ever so much.
Thank you, Mark.
We dismiss history at our peril. Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.